Hello! Today I'm talking about the Humble Jumbo Bundle 5. Okay, so first off we've got Abyss Odyssey. It's a side-scrolling action-adventure game. Basically there was a wizard, and he's decided for whatever reason to rip open a giant hole in the city of Santiago. You wake up and you are a figment of the wizard's imagination, but you're from his less evil side. So you decide to fight the enemies that have risen in this wizard's wake, and you're going to help the allies that are on the ground, because this chasm has just ripped open a hole in the middle of a village, and obviously they're not too happy about that, so you decide to help out and try and seal the chasm. But it's an RPG as well, so there are traders. You can get different weapons. Like, I've managed to add a fire effect to my blade, which seemed to do a lot more damage and cause burn damage. But no, it's very Mortal Kombat-esque. The art style in combination with the combat reminds me very much of that. The amount of dodges you can do and the different skills you have. Like, for example, you'll see quite a lot there I'm throwing fireballs, because you have one melee ability and one ranged. You can play as one of the locals with a musket. No, it's a sword and a pistol, but it does remind me very much of a musket. It's a very old-timey pistol. It's not from the modern era. If you're wondering what the frame rate issues are, that's nothing to do with the game. That's simply because my footage I've captured from a stream I did with it. But yeah, all in all, pretty good. Next up we've got Blackguards 2. This is a turn-based strategy RPG. So it's based on a set of hexagonal tiles. So each turn you get a certain amount of action points that you can use to move or attack an enemy or interact with some kind of item. So just here I'm about to encounter some spiders. And yeah, I basically one-hit every single one of them, because obviously they're the weakest enemy in the game. But as you progress, obviously you're going to upgrade your weapons, your armor, and in this game, in terms of the story, you choose a lot of it yourself. At the very start, you are a prisoner and you want to escape, and your main goal is to rule on the throne. But most of it you decide yourself, so there's not like one set story that you follow. It's very much controlled by you. But no, it's quite fun, and there's quite a lot of thought that goes into it. Blackguards 1 is very, very similar to this one. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough time to play the first one, but I imagine it's very similar, given the footage that I've seen of it. Here we have Contagion. This is a Left 4 Dead style mod on the Source engine, except there's quite a few more characters to choose from. I ended up going with Curtis T. Jones on the right, with the sledgehammer and the camouflage trousers, because he looks like he could knock a house down with his bare arms. Although I can't imagine that there's much of a difference. They all seem to have similar weapons, and you don't start out like I would have thought that you would start with a sledgehammer, because that's how it's depicted in the character select screen. But no, you start out with just a pistol, I believe, and some ammo. So it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference who you play. But yeah, it's a lot like Left 4 Dead. The atmosphere, though, I believe, is a lot better. I like the atmosphere more in this. You feel a lot more not scared, but unsafe. In Left 4 Dead, you can kill them all in pretty much one hit guarantee, but if you miss in Contagion, they will take several shots to go down. And by several, I mean like 7 or 8, not 2 or 3. So the atmosphere is right, but the gameplay just doesn't feel as smooth as Left 4 Dead. They really need to improve it. Although this bit did scare the hell out of me. That's what I mean by atmosphere. This is Insurgency. It's another mod on the Source engine, just like Contagion was. But I don't think they've got the blend quite right between gameplay and semi-realism. I've taken the best parts of the action from the boot camp, but I've spent about an hour in that boot camp, and literally the action you're seeing is all the action there was. And it doesn't feel very fluid, like there's no reticule, you just have to guess. Or use iron sights, but it's not very good if you want to just spray from the hip. And especially when it comes to grenades, you have to guess. You just have to guess where your hand is. You can't, there's no way to tell where it's going to land because there's no reticule. It could easily be improved, but as it stands, it just doesn't feel like a very good action game. Granted, I haven't played a multiplayer game, but having played the tutorial, I don't think I want to. Penultimately, this is Men of War Assault Squad. Now this is an action RTS, but set in kind of World War II era. I've sped up the footage because this took a long time to play. But essentially in this mission, I'm just storming the beaches in World War II. And I'm the USA versus Japan. But no, it's really fun. I really enjoyed this one. There's a lot of different ways that you can take it. I think I played the most basic way, which was control my whole squad as a group. But I think the idea is to kind of split them up and surround the enemy completely. But I did a very good job, and you've got several different people. They're not all just standard dudes. Like in relatively real military, you've got a few snipers, you've got at least one medic, you've got a grenadier, a rocket person, I don't know what you'd say, bazooka guy, I don't know. But after a couple deaths, and when I say a couple, I mean quite a lot. After a few, I managed to get the hang of it, and I ended up capturing a base. So the footage really speaks for itself. So I'm just gonna leave you to watch it. Finally, here we've got Spin Tires. This is a vehicle simulator, and at first it kind of looks like a military vehicle simulator, but actually it's got quite a wide variety of vehicles, ranging from the one you see here to a Land Rover and etc. It's mostly off-road vehicles, but there doesn't seem to be a clear objective in most of the missions, the single-player missions anyway. I haven't tried the multiplayer, but it does make for a nice sandbox. It's very expansive. There's lots of places to go and explore, lots of places to go and get your truck stuck like I did, but there's lots of features if you really like getting into the nitty-gritty of controlling every aspect of your truck. And there's lots of attachments that you can get. For example, I'm going to grab a crane attachment so that I can load up all the timber onto the back of my truck. But much like the Men of War Assault Squad footage, it speaks for itself, so I'm going to leave you to watch it. But before I go, just remember there's only 2 days left before this Humble Bundle comes off of sale, and there's going to be a new one, so grab it while you can. Thanks for watching.